With more on this, we're joined by Global Washington correspondent Reggie Cecchini. Nice to see you, Reggie. So what is the latest in terms of strikes?
Well, Jen, there's actually news coming out of U.S. Central Command, and this is going to be difficult news for Americans and potentially politically dangerous news for the U.S. president. And in a post to social media just within the last 10 minutes, it says 3 U.S. service members have been killed in action, 5 seriously wounded as a part of Operation Epic Fury. Several others sustained minor shrapnel injuries and concussion and are in the process of being returned to duty. So this is now the first confirmation of American service members that have been killed since this operation began on Saturday. The U.S. military is not giving information about where these service members were located or any other details on this, citing respect for families and pending notification. But this comes amid an increase in the volley of missiles and drones coming out of Iran in retaliation for what took place yesterday. Several Gulf state nations have been struck over the last 24 hours, including the UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, and in Saudi Arabia, which we know the Saudis have said that they will respond in kind if they feel the need to. So this is now quickly escalating from something that was said to be directed in their strikes yesterday and is becoming far more regional.
Yes, very dangerous indeed. So what is the American government saying overall? How are they reacting?
Yeah, look, there have been some Republicans lauding the move of the president here, arguing that the ends justify the means, that the death of the Ayatollah means that it doesn't matter that Donald Trump skipped congressional approval to carry out these strikes. Democrats, however, and some more moderate Republicans are now calling for a vote to put a check on Donald Trump's use of war powers. The question is going to be whether or not this new note from CENTCOM suggesting that American deaths have now been reported potentially puts pressure on other members of Congress to have a vote on the use of war powers. But we do need to remember, Jen, that yesterday in that speech from Donald Trump that he put to social media, he said that it was likely that there would be a chance that there would be American deaths here. He put that out long before the first strikes were ever carried out. The question again becomes, is this a politically dangerous moment for the president just a few months away from midterms?
Yeah, a lot to think about there for sure. Now, Reggie, what has been the response within Iran and even around the world? A lot of people reacting, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you played some of that off the very top. There has been kind of a split feeling in the country of Iran. We have seen mourners coming out onto the streets with the Iranian government showing this to be a sign of unity and defiance to these attacks from Israel and the U.S. We have also at the same time seen celebration in the streets of Tehran, potentially with some people seeing this as a window to a new future. That said, we've seen the anti-U.S. and anti-Israel sentiments, kind of pour out into Pakistan and Iraq and even on the ground in the U.S. The question here is going to become next, though, what happens? There is a push for regime change. The Ayatollah is gone. There is a process in place to replace him, but some experts say it is not going to be simple. Take a listen.
Well, it certainly has been the case in other places that by taking out critical leaders within an organization or within a system, you have been able to, at a minimum, defang it and paralyze it. The difference, of course, is that in the case here is we're talking about a state. We're not just talking about an organization. We're not just talking about some apparatus. This is much, much bigger than that. And the remaining elements within that state apparatus will have a continued interest in the system's survival because their own survival is so closely tied to the survival of the theocracy or some variation of it.
So, Jen, we're now waiting to see what the response is going to be from the U.S. president with the notice of the death of the service members. Donald Trump did put on social media earlier today that if Iran hits back, it will be hit back twice as hard by the U.S., Jen.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your analysis this morning. That is Reggie Cecchini in Washington.